Welcome to our deep dive into healthcare podcasts. You ready to explore this booming audio landscape? We've got this awesome article. It's called The 22 Best Healthcare Podcasts You Can't Miss in 2024.
Perfect timing.
Yeah,
Healthcare is kind of everyone's business, right?
it really is.
So whether you're a professional, a patient, or just curious how this huge field is changing, these podcasts offer some really cool insider perspectives. You won't find them easily anywhere else.
Exactly. So we're going to go beyond just listing the 22 recommendations. We'll dissect what makes each one unique. Why might you be drawn to it? So first up, Digital Health Today 360 podcast.
Yes.
This one's hosted by Dan Kendall. He's been in health tech for what seems like forever.
Yeah, he's got decades of experience. It really comes through in the interviews.
Yeah.
And he's had some incredible guests, too.
Yeah.
Since 2016, over 100 episodes. Entrepreneurs, clinicians, investors.
Wow.
You name it, he's talked to them.
Yeah.
So it really gives you this broad view of the digital health landscape.
Yeah, I was really interested to see that they actually look at the interplay between technology policy and patient care.
Yeah, it's not just about the tech itself. It's about how it impacts the entire healthcare system.
Exactly. And how do we make sure it's actually benefiting patients right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so speaking of reaching a wide audience, Becker's Healthcare Podcasts.
Now, this is a big one.
It is.
Becker's is like a household name in healthcare media,
Yeah.
and they've got this whole suite of podcasts, thousands of episodes covering everything. They go from digital health trends to leadership in hospitals. Really impressive.
And they leverage their massive network to bring in the people who are actually shaping the industry.
That's the key. It's not just commentators.
Yeah.
It's the people on the front lines.
Yeah, CEOs, thought leaders, innovators.
You're going to have the inside scoop.
All right, now for a podcast that promises to be unfiltered, there's Care Talk, Healthcare, Unfiltered. This one's co-hosted by leaders from Walgreens Boots Alliance and Health Business Group.
Intriguing combination, right?
It is.
And I like that they're emphasizing the unfiltered aspect.
Yeah.
It suggests they're willing to tackle the tough questions, the controversies within the healthcare system, which, let's face it, that's where the real learning happens.
It is now for a podcast geared toward leadership, the Healthcare Executive Podcast from the American College of Healthcare Executives.
So this is one for the folks in the C-suite or aspiring to be.
Exactly.
They really delve into the nitty-gritty of healthcare leadership, strategy, leadership development, health equity, all crucial stuff if you're navigating the complexities of healthcare.
And speaking of navigating, let's venture into the tech-driven world of GeekWire Health Tech.
GeekWire, they're all about tech, right?
Yeah.
So this podcast zooms in on the healthcare side, AI, telemedicine, wearables.
All the cool stuff.
Exactly. They really help you understand how these technologies are being applied, what the potential impact might be.
It's amazing how technology is revolutionizing patient care. Now, when we talk about leaders, we have to mention DGTL Voices with Edward Marks.
He is a big deal in healthcare digital transformation. And in this podcast, he sits down with chief digital officers, CIOs, talks to them about how they're leading change in their organizations.
Yeah, and they're not just talking theory. They're sharing real-world experiences, what's worked, what hasn't.
It's almost like getting a mentorship from a leader in the field.
I love that. All right, Shift Forward Health Podcast also caught my eye. Their mission to make healthcare more consumer-friendly really resonates with me.
Yeah, they've got multiple shows under this umbrella.
They do.
But that common thread runs through all of them, creating a more patient-centric healthcare experience.
Which reflects, I think, a larger trend, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Healthcare is becoming more patient-centric, recognizing the importance of meeting people's needs and expectations, not just treating them as, numbers in a system.
Exactly. Okay, so Databook is our next one. Data is huge in healthcare, but how is it being used to tell stories? How is it being used to gain insights? How is it being used to solve problems?
And they really showcase the power of data in a way that's accessible.
Right, because data can be overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they make it relatable. They had this one episode about how hospitals are using predictive analytics to prevent readmissions,
That was fascinating.
which has a huge impact on patient outcomes and costs.
It does. Patient Journey Pioneers from Hyro is a video podcast.
Fancy.
It is. This one focuses on how digital leaders are improving the patient experience, everything from AI to telehealth.
I love this focus on the patient journey.
Yeah.
It's not just about individual touch points. It's about understanding the whole experience through the patient's eyes.
Right. The Big Unlock. Healthcare Digital Transformation podcast was hosted by Patty Padmanabhan, a true pioneer in the field who sadly passed away in 2023. But His legacy lives on through this podcast, where he interviewed healthcare executives about driving innovation, leveraging technology.
His insights on leadership and digital transformation are invaluable.
They
A
really...
lot of wisdom packed into those interviews.
Okay, bright spots in healthcare. The title itself just makes me smile.
I know, it's so positive.
It is so...
Instead of focusing on the problems, it's about finding those bright spots.
Yeah.
The successes, the innovations.
And how do we replicate them?
Exactly.
How do we scale those up?
It's a solutions-oriented approach.
Love it. And who doesn't love TED Talks? TED Talks Health brings that same thought-provoking energy to the world of healthcare. Diverse range of topics.
Yeah, they're known for sparking curiosity, inspiring new ways of thinking.
Exactly. Okay, HIT, like a girl. This podcast is all about celebrating women leaders in health IT, inspiring the next generation of female tech leaders.
Love it. It's so important to highlight the achievements of women in a field that has been, traditionally male-dominated.
Right, representation matters.
Absolutely. And this podcast not only showcases their successes, but it also serves as a great resource for anyone interested in the intersection of technology, healthcare, and gender.
For a more research-focused perspective, there's the Healthcare Triage podcast with Dr. Aaron Carroll.
He's great. He's a physician who breaks down healthcare policy and medical research in a way that's both informative and engaging.
Yeah, I really liked that he does those polls.
Oh, yeah.
To see what listeners want to hear about.
He's very audience-driven.
It does. All right. Healthcare Weekly, at the forefront of healthcare innovation, another podcast dedicated to exploring the latest trends and developments in the industry.
They do a good job of showcasing the people who are driving those changes.
Yeah, entrepreneurs, investors, thought leaders.
It's like getting a glimpse into the future of healthcare.
And for those fascinated by medical technology, Med Tech Talk is a must listen.
All about the latest advancements. Medical devices, robotics, all the cool stuff that's changing how medicine is practiced.
Okay, HIMScast from HIMS.
HIMS is a big deal in healthcare IT.
They are?
And this podcast is a great resource for staying up to date on the top news, trends, developments in the field.
Okay, stepping outside of the U.S. faces of digital health.
Ah, yes.
Explores how different countries are adopting digital health technologies.
It's fascinating to see how these technologies are being implemented around the world, the challenges, the opportunities.
Yeah, healthcare innovation is happening everywhere. Healthcare IT Today, from Healthcare Scene Media, a comprehensive resource for all things healthcare IT.
They cover a wide range of topics.
They do big data, cybersecurity, patient experience.
It's a great podcast for anyone seeking a broad understanding of the healthcare IT landscape.
Digital Health Leaders Podcast by HIME, another one that connects listeners with industry leaders.
This one's hosted by Russ Branzel, and he interviews digital health leaders from all over. Gives you these great insights into how they're approaching digital transformation.
Yeah, and the challenges they're facing.
Real-world stuff.
Okay, now let's get a different perspective. HSJ Health Check from the UK.
A look at healthcare across the pond.
Exactly. Focuses on the National Health Service.
Which has its own set of challenges and opportunities.
It is.
Gives us a broader understanding of healthcare beyond the U.S.
Absolutely. And finally, we have Perspectives on Health and Tech from Cerner, now part of Oracle.
They explore the impact of technology on healthcare.
From addressing clinician burnout to those digital front door solutions we talked about earlier.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how a vendor like Oracle Cerner is thinking about the future of the industry.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have. It's amazing how many of these podcasts are hosted by people who are fluent in both healthcare and technology.
It's like they're bridging two worlds.
Yeah, exactly. Two worlds that are becoming increasingly intertwined.
Yeah, you need people who can explain complex technical concepts in a way that healthcare professionals and patients can understand.
And on the flip side, you need people who can articulate the needs and challenges of healthcare to the tech innovators who are creating these solutions.
Right, it's a two-way street. And these podcasts are kind of facilitating that conversation.
Absolutely, a crucial conversation.
So let's jump back into our list. We still have a few more podcasts to explore, starting with Healthcare IT Today, hosted by John Lin and Colin Hung.
Oh, yeah. Healthcare IT Today is a very respected media outlet, and their podcast is fantastic. John and Colin really bring their expertise to the table.
Yeah, they break down these really complex issues into these really insightful, digestible nuggets.
Yeah, and I like that they cover a wide range of topics, everything from big data and cybersecurity to improving the patient experience.
Yeah, it's a good mix of practical advice and some thought-provoking discussions.
They're not afraid to ask tough questions, and they really delve into the nuances of healthcare IT.
All right, next up we have Digital Health Leaders Podcast by HIM, hosted by Russ Bransel.
ChangeKime, the leading organization for healthcare CIOs. So they're in a unique position to tap into the minds of the people who are actually leading digital transformation efforts.
It's a goldmine of firsthand experiences, the successes, but also the challenges, right? Because it's not always easy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Implementing these large-scale technology changes in healthcare is no small feat.
And Russ Bransel is a fantastic interviewer.
Yeah, he really has a knack for drawing out the most insightful information from his guests.
All right, switching gears a little bit to a different healthcare system, we have HSJ Health Check from the UK.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Look across the pond.
It's exactly. Focuses on the National Health Service.
Always good to broaden our perspective and learn from healthcare models outside of the U.S.
Right, because a lot of the issues that we grapple with here are global in nature.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
From funding models to patient care delivery, there are these common threads that connect healthcare systems all over the world.
Okay, and finally we have Perspectives on Health and Tech from Cerner, now part of Oracle.
A great podcast that offers that vendor perspective on healthcare technology.
It's insightful to see how a company like Cerner, with its deep roots in healthcare IT, is envisioning the future of the industry.
Yeah, they cover a wide range of topics too, addressing clinician burnout, implementing those digital front door solutions we talked about earlier.
So I think a key takeaway from this deep dive is the incredible diversity of voices and perspectives that we've encountered.
It's not just doctors and healthcare executives anymore, right?
It's entrepreneurs, it's investors, technology experts, patients.
Everyone who plays a part in the healthcare ecosystem.
It really is. And it makes this space feel so dynamic.
It is. These podcasts are fostering such a vibrant dialogue, and they're really driving innovation in ways that we haven't seen before.
The best part is that they're all readily available and free to listen to.
So there's really no excuse not to dive in. Find the podcasts that spark your curiosity and join the conversation.
But here's a thought-provoking question to ponder as you embark on your healthcare podcast journey with so much information at our fingertips. How do we ensure that we're not just passive listeners, but active participants in shaping the future of healthcare?
That's the challenge, isn't it?
It is.
It's easy to get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information. We need to move beyond simply consuming content and start applying what we learn to make a tangible difference.
And I think these podcasts can be catalysts for that change. They inspire us, they challenge our assumptions, and they connect us with a community of passionate individuals who are all working towards a better future for healthcare.
Couldn't agree more. So let's keep listening, keep learning, and keep striving to make a positive impact on the world of healthcare.
That's a perfect sentiment to wrap up this part of our deep dive into healthcare podcasts. Stay tuned for the final part, where we'll explore some bonus insights and resources to help you get the most out of your podcast listening experience. Welcome back. We're wrapping up our deep dive into healthcare podcasts.
Yeah, it's been fascinating exploring all these different shows.
And honestly, we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
There are so many more podcasts out there, covering niche topics, specific diseases, the latest medical research.
There really is something for everyone.
Yeah, no matter what your interest is in healthcare, you can find a podcast that dives deep.
One thing that really struck me throughout this exploration is just the emphasis on collaboration.
Yeah, the silos are breaking down.
They are. We're seeing more and more partnerships between healthcare systems, tech companies, and patients.
And that's where the magic happens, right?
It is.
These collaborations are essential for driving real innovation.
And these podcasts are doing a great job of highlighting those successful partnerships, giving people a blueprint to follow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another key takeaway for me is the focus on the patient experience.
Yeah, it's not just about providing good clinical care anymore.
Right. Patients are demanding more. They want a more personalized experience, a more seamless experience.
And they deserve it.
Absolutely.
And these podcasts really show how healthcare providers are using technology to improve that patient journey.
From making appointments easier to managing chronic conditions.
Yeah, it's all about empowering patients, giving them the tools to be active participants in their own healthcare.
That's the future.
It is. And as we wrap up, I think it's important to remember that we're living in a time where we have more access to information than ever before.
Information overload?
It can be, but it's also an incredible opportunity. We just need to be smart about how we consume that information.
Right. Be critical thinkers.
Exactly. These podcasts can be such valuable tools for staying informed and engaged, but it's up to us to take that knowledge and translate it into action.
Couldn't agree more.
We can't just be passive listeners. We need to be active participants in shaping the future of healthcare.
And I think these podcasts can inspire us to do just that.
They challenge our assumptions. Connect us with a community of people who are passionate about improving healthcare.
It's a movement.
It really is. So let's keep listening, keep learning, and keep pushing for a better future for healthcare.
That's the takeaway message.
It is. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of healthcare podcasts. We hope you've discovered some new favorites, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.